Treatment of sexually transmitted infections. The objectives of lectures are pharmacology of antimicrobial agents used in the treatment of chlamydial infections, treatment of gonorrhea, syphilis, genital herpes, trichomoniasis, and pelvic inflammatory diseases. So, these are the objectives we have to discuss today. Sexually transmitted infections is generally caused by the many types of the bacteria and plus virus. Generally, as the name itself indicate, these are the transmitted by sexual route. So that's why they are called sexually transmitted infections. And the symptoms for these are the common symptoms of the STIs. In the main, there is an the discharge from the penis, maybe white, yellow, or greenish. A burning sensation when urinating, urination urgency and frequently, burning or itching around the opening of penis, swelling or redness at the opening of the penis, swelling or pain in the testicles, and persistent sore throat. These are the common symptoms of STI seen in men. While in the women, abnormal discharge, which maybe have a strong smell, a burning sensation when urinating, the need to urinate more frequently, heavier periods or spotting, sore throat, pain during intercourse, and sharp pain in the lower abdomen with fever. These are the common symptoms observed in women related to the STI. The first objective, the drugs or regimen which are generally used in the treatment of the chlamydial infection. The chlamydia, which is the category of bacteria responsible for the chlamydial infections. So, as per the name, if you see in the name of the chlamydia, uh, here in the name of the chlamydial infection, chlamydia, I made A and D red, A and D. So the drugs itself available in the name of the bacteria, chlamydia, A and D. So A for azithromycin and D indicates the doxycycline. So it's just trick to remember the drug. So chlamydia, the name of the chlamydia itself contain the treatment A and D. A indicates the azithromycin and D indicates the doxycycline. So the most common drugs which are used in the treatment of the chlamydial infections, which is the type of the STI, which is called sexually transmitted infections. Azithromycin, it is from the category of the macrolide antibiotics. It inhibits the 50S subunits of ribosomes. That's why we can say it inhibits the protein synthesis. We can say it inhibits the protein synthesis. Azithromycin, 1 gram orally in the single dose is sufficient. Only 1 gram orally in the single dose is sufficient. Plus, other drug is doxycycline, 100 milligram of doxycycline orally, 2 multiplied per day means 2 times a day for the 7 days is an recommended treatment for the chlamydial infections. Doxycycline inhibits the 30S and 50S subunits of ribosomes, and we can say it inhibits the protein synthesis. So these are both of the drugs inhibits the protein synthesis in the bacteria and render the growth of bacteria and kills the bacteria, we can say. Doxycycline is a small brother of tetracycline. So category is from the tetracycline and act by inhibition of the protein synthesis. What is the adverse effects of azithromycin? Diarrhea, abdominal pain, nausea, elevation of ALT, AST, creatinine, elevated bilirubin, and the QT prolongation. So we have to use with the precautions with the persons who is having liver disease and arrhythmias, including cardiovascular disease. Azithromycin should be contraindicated in the patients who reported the documented hypersensitivity, and plus the patient or person who is having abnormal liver functions, because this azithromycin may leads to increase the enzyme levels. In the pregnancy, it is should be used with cautions if benefits outweigh risk. So it means that the study conducted on the humans may found some risk. Maybe we can say FDA category C. So we have to use with the precautions if benefits overweigh risk. Doxycycline, the another drugs in the treatment of chlamydial infections. Adverse effect include pancreatitis, inflammation of the pancreas. As we know that the tetracyclines are contraindicated in the children due to discoloration of the tooth and the children's of the bone development. So the dental discoloration is the same problem with the doxycycline, plus diarrhea and the hemolytic anemias. What are the contraindications? Always hypersensitivity, documented hypersensitivity is a contraindications. Use of tetracycline during tooth development, last half of the pregnancy through age 8 years should be contraindicated, and they may cause permanent discoloration of the teeth. What is the category of pregnancy? What is the recommendations of the doxycycline in use in the pregnancy? So it should be avoided in the second and third trimester of the pregnancy to avoid the bone malfunctions. So these are the treatment for the chlamydial infections: azithromycin and doxycycline A, D. Next one is treatment of the gonorrhea. In the name of the gonorrhea, for to make it easy to remember the name of the drugs, I made it gonorrheic. AC, gonorrhea. It contains two drugs, combination of the two drug A and C. A represent the azithromycin same, and C indicates the ceftriaxone. These are the two mainstay drugs in the management and the treatment of the gonorrhea. Gonorrheic, you can remember by the gonorrheic AC, azithromycin, and C for ceftriaxone. There are two types of the gonorrhea: uncomplicated gonorrhea and complicated gonorrhea. So, what is the drugs for the treatment of the uncomplicated gonorrhea? Uncomplicated means infection is limited to urogenital, anogenital, or pharyngeal. It not infects the blood and tissue. So only limited to the specific region, urogenital, anogenital, or pharyngeal. That's why it is called uncomplicated. And when it will be complicated, when it leads to the bacteremia, it infects the blood and tissue, we can say complicated or disseminated gonorrhea. So the first among the AC, the ceftriaxone. If the infection is uncomplicated, use only single dose of intramuscular injection of 250 milligram ceftriaxone. Now, ceftriaxone, it is from the category of the cephalosporin, which inhibits the cell wall synthesis by interfering with the synthesis of the peptidoglycans in the bacteria. So in short, we can say ceftriaxone inhibits the cell wall synthesis in bacteria. Generally, the which bacteria? Gonorrhea. So we can say Neisseria gonorrhea is a causative agent. Only single dose of ceftriaxone 250 milligram intramuscularly, plus is very important. Plus you have to add azithromycin 1 gram orally, single dose. Same as we seen in the chlamydia, azithromycin 1 gram orally in the single dose. And if the for the ceftriaxone, which is from the category of the cephalosporin, if the ceftriaxone is not available, the you can use cefixime 400 milligram single oral dose alternative, which is alternative for ceftriaxone. Use cefixime. Cefixime is also from the same category of the cephalosporin and inhibits the cell wall synthesis in the Neisseria gonorrhea. Mechanism of the azithromycin, same, inhibits the 50S subunits of ribosomes, inhibits the protein synthesis. And alternative to azithromycin, if azithromycin is not available or patient having documented hypersensitivity with the azithromycin, use 7-day course of oral doxycycline 100 milligram twice daily. 7-day course of the oral doxycycline 100 milligram. Otherwise, only single dose of the azithromycin plus ceftriaxone is recommended. So if the azithromycin and ceftriaxone is available, use in the single dose only at one dose. So for this we need ceftriaxone 250 milligram intramuscular single dose injection and azithromycin 1 gram orally in the single dose is a recommended treatment from the Center of Prevention of the Control and the Disease. Let us see the treatment for complicated, or we can say disseminated gonorrhea. What is complicated gonorrhea? It may cause bacteremia and or spread of the bacteria to joints and tissues. So in this case, the drugs are same. For the management of the complicated and uncomplicated gonorrhea, drugs are same, just difference is the dose. What is the dose for ceftriaxone? The dose of ceftriaxone is higher. It is 1 to 2 gram. It is gram, not milligram. Gram. Intravenous. Now here we are using intravenous. The route is also different. In uncomplicated gonorrhea, we are giving by the intramuscular route. But in case of the complicated gonorrhea, we have to use intravenous route every 12 to 24 hours. Plus, we have to use azithromycin 1 gram orally in the single dose as we are using in the uncomplicated gonorrhea. So difference is only for the ceftriaxone. In the complicated gonorrhea, the ceftriaxone should be given in the dose of 1 to 2 gram intravenously every 12 to 24 hours. What is the duration of therapy if there is the meningitis caused by the Neisseria gonorrhea? We have to continue ceftriaxone for 10 to 14 days, 2 weeks, at least 2 weeks if there is a meningitis. And if there is a endocarditis which is caused by Neisseria gonorrhea, we have to continue the treatment of the ceftriaxone for the 4 weeks. So this is the main difference between the complicated and uncomplicated gonorrhea in terms of the dose and in terms of the duration. Next one is treatment of genital herpes. Now we know that the genital herpes are the viral infections. It is due to the infection of virus. Before going to genital herpes, I will continue ceftriaxone adverse effect. Ceftriaxone, which are generally used in the management of the gonorrhea, complicated and uncomplicated, the adverse effects include induration, stiffness after intramuscular injection, eosinophilia, thrombocytosis, diarrhea, elevated hepatic transaminase, pancreatitis, stomatitis, and glossitis. It should be contraindicated in the documented hypersensitivity patients and in the hemolytic anemia patients. And in the pregnancy, it is recommended because it is a category B, so it will indicate the safety in the pregnancy. The use of the ceftriaxone in the pregnancy is established as safety and FDA indicated category B. Now let us see the genital herpes infection. Herpes simplex virus. It is in the viral infections. So genital herpes. So as per the genital, we are use the genital last name of the AL. AL indicate the acyclovir. So the name of the drug itself indicate in the disease, that is the genital herpes means a viral infection. And for the viral infection we have to use acyclovir, and this genital red font AL indicates the acyclovir. What is the dose of acyclovir? 400 milligram orally 3 times per day for 7 to 10 days. Acyclovir 400 milligram, it is should be given by the oral route 3 times a day, means per day it should be 1200 milligram, and the treatment should be continued for at least 7 to 10 days. How it act mechanism? Acyclovir interferes with the DNA polymerase to inhibits the DNA replication via chain termination. In short, we can say the acyclovir inhibits the nucleic acid synthesis in the virus. What is the adverse effect of acyclovir? Malaise, nausea, vomiting, rash, elevated transaminase level, and contraindication same for the all contraindications documented hypersensitivity to the specific drug, and avoid rapid infusion because of the risk of the renal damage. If the patient is not able to take oral medications, and if the acyclovir is decided to given by the infusion, so the rate should be in the limit. If the rate is high, rapid infusion, it may cause renal damage. So we have to avoid the acyclovir in the patients which is having renal function disturbances. And in the pregnancy, safety point of view by the FDA is established and it is recommended category B, so we can use during the pregnancy. Next infection is PID, treatment of the PID, pelvic inflammatory disease. And in the pelvic inflammatory disease, the disease name itself contained the drug name pelvic. The C indicates the ceftriaxone. Inflammatory M indicates the metronidazole, and disease D indicates the doxycycline. So these are the treatment options are available to treat the pelvic inflammatory disease. Ceftriaxone 250 milligram in the single dose is recommended, same as recommended in the uncomplicated gonorrhea, inhibits the cell wall synthesis as we know. Metronidazole, it is an antiparasitic drug and it should be recommended in the dose of 500 milligram orally twice a day for 14 days. So metronidazole is 500 milligram given by the orally twice a day for 2 weeks. And if it is given by the injection, ceftriaxone 250 milligram intramuscular single dose is sufficient. These are the ors, not plus. You can use either ceftriaxone, you can use either metronidazole, you can use either doxycycline. This is not a plus. You can use any one of the drug from these three. Metronidazole inhibits the nucleic acid synthesis and disturbing the DNA, that is nucleic acid required for the growth of the bacteria. And doxycycline should be given in 100 milligram orally 2 times per day for 2 weeks. So for the pelvic inflammatory disease, the duration of treatment is 2 weeks at least. And if the patient is not able to take the drugs by oral routes or some complication, documented hypersensitivity, he can use ceftriaxone given by injection at intramuscular route. And as we seen, doxycycline is also inhibits the 30S and 50S units of ribosomes and inhibits the protein synthesis. Just a minute. Where is the 3 number? 1, 2, 3. Yes. And remember, the doxycycline and the quinolones, that is the fluoroquinolones like ciprofloxacin, ofloxacin, is contraindicated in pregnancy as we discussed. Let us see the pharmacology of metronidazole. The adverse effect of metronidazole includes diarrhea, metallic taste, neuropathy, pancreatitis, seizures, fleeting joints pain that may resembles the serum sickness, contraindications, hypersensitivity, and the carcinogenic effect is a black box warning. So this drug is causes the having the potency to cause carcinoma. So we have to take the precautions of use of the metronidazoles, and in the pregnancy it should be avoided in the first trimester of the pregnancy. Metronidazole is an antiparasitic drug. It inhibits the nucleic acid synthesis in the parasites and bacteria, and that's why it's widely used in the diarrhea. And we know that the metronidazole is also a choice of drug in the antibiotic associated diarrhea, the diarrhea which is caused by due to use of antibiotics. And remember, in the pregnancy it should be avoided in the first trimesters. Let us see about the next syphilis, treatment of the syphilis, which is also one of the sexually transmitted infections. The syphilis, this STI itself indicate the drug name, and this P in the red color indicates penicillin. Penicillin. So generally the penicillin G is choice of the drug. mainstay of the drug in the treatment of syphilis. In the primary phase, the penicillin G, maybe the procaine penicillin or maybe the benzathine penicillin, should be used in the dose of 2.5 millions unit intramuscular in a single dose. So for the primary phase, early phase of the infection, we need single dose intramuscular injection of penicillin G. And in the latent phase, late phase, penicillin G, the same dose 2.4 millions unit intramuscular, but it should be in the 3 doses, each at 1 week intervals. This is the difference between the treatment of the syphilis in the primary phase, early phase, and the latent phase, late phase. So in the primary phase, we need only intramuscular single dose, 2.5 million units. And in the late phase, latent phase, 3 doses of the 2.5 million units, each after 1 week interval. And we know that same the penicillin is also inhibits the uh, cell wall synthesis. If the patient is allergic to penicillin in the primary phase, use doxycycline 100 milligram 2 times a day for 2 weeks. And if the patient in the latent phase, continue for 4 weeks. Another option, if for the penicillin, if the patient is allergic to the penicillin, use doxycycline. And if the patient is having the hypersensitivity with the doxycycline, can use ceftriaxone 1 gram intramuscular or intravenous injection for 14 days, 2 weeks. And if the latent phase, continue for 4 weeks. So the mainstay of the treatment of the syphilis is the penicillin G, the procaine penicillin or benzathine penicillin can be used. If there is a neurosyphilis, means this syphilis infection is causes neurological manifestations, then we have to use the penicillin G in the dose of, see the dose, 18 to 24 millions unit. But in the normal phase, we are using only 2.4 million units. But this syphilis, if infects the neurological system, neurological manifestations, we have to use the dose of 18 to 24 million units every 4 hours for 2 weeks. And ceftriaxone, if the patient is allergic to penicillin, for the neurosyphilis patient, use ceftriaxone 2 gram intramuscular or intravenous for 14 days if allergic to penicillin. Generally, intravenous route is used for ceftriaxone for the management of the neurosyphilis. Next one is trichomoniasis. The trichomoniasis infection itself contains the name of drug. If you see T and M, T for tinidazole or M for metronidazole. So you have to use or, this is not plus. You can use either metronidazole or you can use either tinidazole. If the metronidazole, use 2 gram orally in the single dose at a one time. Or if the allergic to the metronidazole, generally the alcoholic person should be avoided with the metronidazole because it causes the disulfiram like reactions, so it should be avoided. So alcoholic person can use tinidazole. Same, both drug is from the same category of nitroimidazole, tinidazole, 2 gram orally in a single dose. And what is the pharmacology of tinidazole? Adverse effect: decrease in the taste sensitivity, nausea, anorexia, dyspepsia, vomiting, and the constipation. Contraindication: same, hypersensitivity and carcinogenic effects is a black box warning. And in the pregnancy should be avoided in the first trimester. So trichomoniasis consists of the name itself contain T and M. You can give either tinidazole or either metronidazole. If the alcoholic person, avoid metronidazole.